What's going on, everybody? Good evening. Today, the big news is Kristi Noem has been fired. She is no longer the head of the Department of Homeland Security. Instead, Mullen is going to be the person they attempt to confirm. And the administration's basically going to claim that she wasn't actually fired because they transferred her to some meaningless job. But she was definitely fired. So, but will this make anything better? No. Things will probably be as consistently bad as they were prior. I don't know how much worse they can get. So, that's where we are today. The big news. Kristi Noem, the bird-legged out at the Department of Homeland Security. What's going on, everyone? Everyone check in the chat as you're coming in. Check it in the chat. I wasn't really sure if I wanted to go live tonight, only because not that I didn't want to, but I'm exhausted. So I'm kind of pushing through, I'm just tired tonight. Exhausted. It's one of those nights. No, I have not seen new documents released by the DOJ. Why? Is there something I should know? If you're wondering why I'm a little out of it, that's why I'm just tired. Busy. I have a lot going on in my life right now. And so I've been dealing with that. So I called Fetterman multiple times today because I was kind of annoyed with the fact that he said he was going to support Mark Wayne Mullen. By the way, what kind of name is Mark Wayne? I mean, what's the two first names stuck together for? Anyway, he said he put his support behind Mark Wayne Mullen, and it really pissed me off because Fetterman, although he waits to disagree with Democrats on everything, I truly think he gets off on being a contrarian. Fetterman did say he didn't like to see American citizens die, and his support for Mark Wayne Mullen kind of proves he doesn't care. Mullen is a partisan hack. He's a MAGA supporter. So you can almost guarantee more like shutdowns and like shitty leadership from him. So I don't know why Fetterman is bucking party lines. I don't know why Fetterman is supporting a guy who has zero experience in immigration, quite literally zero. No DHS experience at all. He has no deep immigration experience. He's just a Trump guy. Just a Trump guy. Supports things like deportation and wall expansion. Of course, not considering nuance like every other Republican. Overreach, supports overreach, doesn't care about the Constitution. So if Fetterman's going to criticize those things, I think he should stand 10 toes down that the next supporter of the DHS needs to be someone with experience. Let's think about it, folks. If you really care about American citizens dying, then you would demand that the next head of the Department of Homeland Security have experience. That's what you would demand. Look at this clown in the chat spamming, "What is a woman?" This troglodyte in the chat. What is a woman? Hi, adamcrai. What is a woman? What is a woman? Just keep spamming it over and over. God, these people are... I've been playing Resident Evil, the new Resident Evil Requiem, and that's what MAGA reminds me of, the zombies in that game. Not an ounce of critical analysis in those little brains. I'll tell you that. Guys, I would appreciate everybody hitting the thumbs up button, contributing to the gifting goal. All those things help push the live out onto the algorithm. I'm going to stream as long as I can before I just don't feel like there's enough engagement. I'm just going to pop off because I'm too tired to push through if we can't get the live on the algorithm. Chrissy, thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat. Appreciate you, Chrissy. Appreciate you, Chrissy. This is the guy that said it was the U.S. who bombed that school. What an idiot. Wait, it wasn't? Oh, wait, I forgot. Israel's trying to claim it was Iran that bombed their own school. Oh, my God. Oh, God. They believe the Israeli propaganda. It was Iran. They say Iran. It was Iran. Everyone knows who the fuck it was, dude. Why would Iran randomly bomb a school in their own country? You guys conducted well, not you. You're just a chud on your couch. But Israel and Iran conducted these strikes. You think it's a coincidence? Yeah, it was a random missile fell out of the sky. It was God. Mother of Sassholes, appreciate you. Thank you for the $9.99 super chat. Appreciate you, Mother of Sassholes. Thank you. I appreciate that. Misperception, thank you for the $5 super chat. Appreciate you. Mag is in here. Fucking thinks it. No, it wasn't Iran. No, it wasn't. No, they didn't. IRGC didn't confirm anything. Shut up. No, they didn't, you fucking liar. Shut the hell up, Zionist. Sit your ass down. You don't even know what you're talking about. Now he's trying to... Iran admitted it, that they killed their own people. Iran's government is blaming Israel and the United States. They're saying it's an American Zionist massacre. That's what they said yesterday. An American Zionist massacre. They did not admit it. This guy literally tried to claim that Iran is admitting that it was their missile. Oh, my God. These people are freaking unbelievable, bro. Kathy Smith, thank you so much. It was the United States and Israel who did it, okay? Deal with it. And everyone knows it. Everyone knows it. There's not any amount of propaganda, that you could spew to get people to believe this. They know exactly who it was. You hit the school. It's what you did. That's what you do. You hit the school. You know it. And that's what you support. You just can't live with yourself. You literally cannot live with yourself. You can't live with yourself that you're bombing another country and Trump told you no new wars, but you fell for it again. Guys, listen, it's because you're gullible. Listen, you're just not very bright. That's why you're easily fooled. If you support the war in Iran, you can call in 908-652-3703. 908-652-3703. If you support the war in Iran. The news of the day we kind of already went over. Kristi Noem is a bird-legged, got removed as the Department of Homeland Security secretary. So now we have Mullen, who is a hardcore MAGA supporter, really no different than Kristi Noem in that way. They're both very similar in terms of their being partisan hacks, MAGA hacks that just completely do whatever Trump tells them to do. I actually uploaded a video on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube of Mullen trying to fight someone during a Senate hearing. That's who this guy is, right? As he stands up and tries to punch people in a Senate hearing. Like, what a jerk, dude. He wanted to fight someone in the middle of a Senate hearing. Dear Lord. Dear Lord. They should, we know the Iranian government is bad. We know that already, blood-addled. We already know that they're bad. You stop stating the fucking obvious and shut up, okay? We already know they shut off the internet. That's what they do. They're an oppressive government. They do it any time to prevent uprising. We know that it has nothing to do with the school. You're a clown. You don't even know what you're talking about. Just sit down and don't talk. Okay? Sit down and don't speak. This is an adult conversation. Okay? Adam, honest opinion, do you think we make it out of this without going 1776 measures? Sometimes I'm not so sure anymore. No, I don't. I don't know what they're planning. I do know what they're planning. I think I know what they're planning in terms of criminalizing a part of the political spectrum, and I think they're willing to do just about anything to advance their priorities and I think their goals, and I think that they'd be willing to do just about anything. So, no, I'm not sure it's not going to go there. Bernie Sanders trying to de-escalate. Yeah, Bernie's like, you're a sitting U.S. senator. What are you doing? Like, holy crap, dude. We have to talk to these people like they're little kids. Holy moly, dude. Honestly, it's so annoying. Like, we have to talk to these people like they're little kids. This guy's in here. It was Iran admitted it. Now he's pivoting to, well, they turned the internet off so no one could find out. The internet all says it was the U.S. and Israel. So, no, that's not why they turned the internet off. Turned the internet off because they're trying to prevent an uprising. Because that's what the United States government is doing, trying to provoke an uprising. So they don't have to put boots on the ground. That's quite literally what they're doing. Judy B, thank you so much for being a member for 11 months. Appreciate you, Judy B. They're arming the Kurds in Iraq. They've already launched an attack. And they are going to essentially try and create a civil war type situation. Someone left a comment on my video, something about, the Kurds would be stupid to get involved in this. They have no choice. They have no choice. They can't afford to go head-to-head with the United States. So if the United States, and they have a reasonably smooth relationship with the U.S., according to them, and so they pretty much have to do this. It's in their best interest to do this. So I think they're more concerned with retaliation from Iran, because Iran already threatened them recently. Iran said, if you engage in this war at all, we're gonna decimate you. So I think they're concerned about it. But I've said before, and yesterday, if you didn't watch yesterday's live was a little more in depth about what Iran's strategy is militarily, and I'm not going to go through it in depth like I did before because we did it yesterday, but it's called the mosaic defense. It's essentially a restructured military strategy doctrine that basically tries to exhaust the resources of its opponent. So the United States and Israel operate pretty similarly militarily, and the goal is to decapitate leadership and then hope it's like a chicken with its head cut off. It runs around for a little bit and then dies. Right? That's kind of their military strategy. The goal of hold on one second, guest. The goal of the Mosaic Doctrine is to exhaust resources, right? To tire out the other country politically and economically until they basically just withdraw. And we saw in Afghanistan some guerrilla warfare style tactics. We saw the Taliban put belt to ass for quite a few years in the United States for a couple of reasons. Number one, ideological commitment, but also being able to fight, being willing to fight, being able to fight when communications are cut off. Their military strategy allows for them to continue to fight even if Tehran falls. Are you a Trump supporter? What's your first name and how old are you?
Hi, my name is Armin. I'm 40 years old and I was born in Iran.
Who'd you vote for?
I'm Canadian. I'm not American. I do support Trump right now, though. I do.
You support Trump in Canada? Oh, God. I normally don't take people outside of the United States because it's just not your business. But go ahead, tell me what's up. In this case, I'll let you give a take. Go ahead.
Well, it is kind of my business because I was born in Iran, right?
Yeah, but you don't pay for it. I'm paying for it. You're not. So yeah. We're talking about in terms of the American taxpayer. So go ahead. I'm going to give you a chance to give a take. Go ahead.
Sure. So your concern in this situation is that the American taxpayers are paying for this and they shouldn't be in a war, right?
It's multifaceted. So what it has to do with is, number one, in my country is bleeding right now. You don't live in the United States, so you wouldn't know this, but our country's on fire right now. So this is why it's very difficult to talk to someone who's not even in the United States. You're not an American citizen. You're a Canadian, so you don't even know what's going on here. But we're literally fighting.
No, I get it. I traveled to US a lot.
No, you don't get it. So let me finish. Thank you.
Calm down.
Don't tell me. Don't tell me you get it. Like I wouldn't say I get what it's like to live in Iran. Please let me finish. So we just got done literally fighting for Minneapolis, Minnesota against the federal government, quite literally. So my country's on fire right now, literally on fire. So no, I don't want another endless conflict in the Middle East. That I don't. I'm watching my fellow Americans have to set up GoFundMe so they can pay for insulin. I'm tired of my fellow Americans dying.
No, I get that.
Okay? So.
I get that, and there's a lot of factors for that. A country that's hella capitalist and all they care about is money and not their people. I understand that, and I don't disagree with any of that. But there's a lot of factors to what you were saying too. Unfortunately, from what it sounds like, you're very, very, very left. Is that correct?
I think most people would probably consider me very left, yes.
Okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Just what I'm saying is sometimes you got to kind of take a step back and look at things from a different perspective. Like 2005 years ago, I fucking hated Trump. Let's talk about his first term.
No,
I thought the guy was a fucking idiot.
I really don't want to get into it. I want you to tell me what your thoughts are on the war in Iran.
So my thoughts are this.
Hey, actually, can you...
you have to look at it from this...
Can you hold on 1 second?
Yes.
All right, just hold on 1 second.
Yeah, sure.
Sorry about that. All right.
Yeah,
so
no worries.
The war in Iran. Go ahead.
Sorry, for sure. And I just want to bring something real quick. We're on fire too, man. The tariffs that Trump has put in is fucking us hard over here. Like our economy is in complete shit, but that is a complete different topic. Now, to the Iran situation, you have to look at it from this way too. My parents were born during the Shah time. So during when the king was there. So I was born right after the revolution, which was put in place by Jimmy Carter and CIM, whatever.
I know the history.
That country up.
Can I just say this?
Okay.
Just spare me the history lesson. Yeah. I know this. Okay. So go ahead. What's your take on the war?
So the reason the reason this should take place and it had to happen is Iran controls Hezbollah. Iran controls Hamas. All these, it's like a fucking octopus. Not Iran, the Islamic Republic. It's like a fucking octopus. For how many years this is going to go on for? For how many years Islamic Republic is going to be funding Hamas, is going to be funding the Houthis, is going to be funding Hezbollah. Like you have to look at it from this way too.
I do.
It's a matter of time this was going to happen.
So here's the thing you need to understand, right? It's not our problem. It's that simple. It's not a problem. You can bring up Jimmy Carter all you want, and that's perfectly fine. But what I'm telling you is that my government, my country, was just left the Middle East. We spent 20 years in the Middle East, and it significantly
100%.
my fellow Americans. And that's why I said it's very difficult for you to understand what's happening here and judging from the outside, because if you were in the United States, if I took you to Minneapolis in the last couple of months, you would shit yourself. Okay?
No, it was a complete shit show. I follow it.
You would no, but it doesn't matter, dude. I'm telling you right now, I followed it too. I went there. I personally flew there multiple times and was in the street. I know it is impossible to understand unless you were there. I don't care how many videos you watched. The country is on fire in multiple different ways. I couldn't believe I was in my own country watching what happened. Federal agents masked, rushing American citizens and beating them in front of me. You understand? That's the level of shit that we're dealing with here in the United States. So the last thing we need is another endless conflict in the Middle East. Now, let's be clear about a couple of facts here. I'm just going to establish this so you understand, because I think that people struggle with nuance in this argument. The Iranian people are oppressed. Fact. The regime is evil and probably deserves to die. Right? Fact. So these things are true. These things are true. The United States just recently conducted a military operation in Iran to destroy the enrichment facilities of the regime because Benjamin Netanyahu claimed that they were close to weapons-grade enriched uranium. We spent a bunch of money doing that, too. Months later now, Benjamin Netanyahu again is claiming they're close to a nuclear weapon. In fact, our government's contradicting themselves. Our government's contradicting themselves, claiming that, like Marco Rubio, I don't know if you know who that is, but Marco Rubio's basically saying that that Israel was planning an attack, and this was a premeditated attack. This was an attack to make sure that they didn't destroy our military bases in response to an attack from Israel. So the problem that we have is that we're fighting this war for Israel. This has everything to do with Israel. It doesn't have anything to do with liberating your people. I want to be super clear. I hope you understand this. I know I've been studying politics for 20 years.
Get it.
Listen, I've been studying American politics for 20 years. I've been doing this for a long time. I know the government inside and out. I follow this on a daily basis. This has nothing to do with liberating your people. This has everything to do with Israel, right? And they needed to get this done before the midterms, and that's more or less the issue I have with it.
No, you're right. And Netanyahu was in UN. When was it? Like, I think when around Iraq war, maybe a bit after, with a sign in his hand saying Iran is very close to a bomb. He had a picture of what you're saying is absolutely true. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people in the government of U.S. that are very Zionist. They believe, God forbid, anything happens to Israel, it's game over, but they don't understand this Israel is not the Israel in the Bible. That's the reality of it. But this is a long-ass fucking conversation.
No, but I understand that, and I'm trying to shorten it too, but I just want to say this to you. Hold on. What you're doing, though, is you're agreeing with me, but yet you're saying the United States, the American people don't want any involvement in the Middle East. Okay, we spent years there. It wasn't successful. A lot of our people died. And by the way, a lot of Iraqis died. A lot of innocent people in Afghanistan died too. That matters just as much. 2 million
civilians died. Yeah,
that matters just as much to me. But I've already seen multiple body bags come home with American flags draped over, multiple coffins with American flags draped over to fight another. It's not our conflict. I understand that the Iranian people are oppressed. I wish the best for them. If the United States was going to conduct a strike like this, they should have left immediately after. The problem is, do you know what the mosaic defense is?
The mosaic defense?
Yes.
I do not. Explain it to me.
So I want you to understand that. How familiar are you with Iranian military strategy in the IRGC?
Pretty familiar. Familiar.
Then you would know what the mosaic defense is if you were pretty familiar. Because
I'm maybe not familiar with the term.
Okay, so essentially it's their restructured military doctrine because they knew the United States and Israel was going to decapitate their leadership at some point. The supreme leader wasn't even hiding. He had been followed by the CIA for months before this. He knew they were going to kill him. It was inevitable. There was really no hiding. There was no hiding, dude.
They're not as smart as you think. They're not as smart as you think.
Oh, they're definitely smart.
So,
they are definitely
they're
smart.
not.
They are, though.
Let me explain something to you.
I'm going to tell you why. You can say they're not. I mean, that's up to you. I've studied their military strategy. I understand how smart they are. So the mosaic defense is essentially what they do is they spread out this conflict, and the goal is essentially to exhaust U.S. resources. That's our tax dollars, and extend this war as long as possible. Iran knows they can't beat the United States head to head. They know that. They have no interest in doing it. So how they fight this war is by making victory an impossibility, draining our resources, right? That's how they win. And who does that hurt the most? That hurts us. That hurts
Americans.
us. Yeah, so that's the problem I have.
But brother, how long do you think this war is going to go? How long do you think this war is going to go for?
I think it has the potential to go for years.
No, there's no way in hell.
Yeah,
there's no way in hell.
Do you know what the strategy is? The strategy is to create an uprising. So they're arming the Kurds, right? They're essentially going to create like a civil war type scenario. What if they lose? This is why if you don't understand...
Kurds going to get fucked. Okay, Kurds going to get fucked. Kurds going to get annihilated.
I'm just telling you.
Kurds, I know, but let me explain something to you. This Iran is not Afghanistan. Afghanistan, even Jesus comes down and tries to fight it. Afghanistan is not going to. Afghanistan is a complete fucking shit show. Surrounded with mountains. Iran has a lot of mountains too, but it's not like Afghanistan. Afghanistan is like fucking almost like Yemen, but fucking way bigger. Iraq is whatever, man. Iraq is a bunch of fucking different tribes. None of them fucking agree with each other. Iran is a pretty fucking modern country in the Middle East. Now, there's a bunch of fucking retards, and then maybe you could call them 5% of the fucking 90.
Don't say that word. Don't say that R word.
Okay, my apologies. They're a bunch of idiots. 5% of the population are idiots, let's say. They're uneducated. Most people that are very religious, they're pretty much somebody either not educated or they just haven't even read their fucking book properly.
So now, let me just say this to you. What I wanted to say to you before is when I was trying to explain to you what the Mosaic doctrine is, that essentially no single decapitation works. Okay, these IRGC units are fragmented in these underground networks, right? And they can essentially operate. If the United States, if Tehran falls, if they cut off communication, the military will fight until the very last bullet, right? So it's essentially they slowly bleed them out. And what happens when you do a domestic bleed out, right? What happens? It inflates the U.S. economy. It spikes oil to 150 plus, right? And more importantly, it erodes public support. People stop supporting the war. Most Americans aren't interested in this, right? They don't. Polls already show people are done. They have war fatigue. They're not isolationist in the United States, but they're pretty much done because of the war in Iraq and Afghanistan. Iran studied the U.S.'s failure in Iraq and Afghanistan. They studied it in depth, building this
100%. You're absolutely right.
But that's what. Listen, but that's what the Mosaic defense is: to trade space for time. Right? We bomb high-value targets endlessly. But their regime endures it via popular resistance and global sympathy, right? And victory, by the way, victory requires invasion. Okay, you can't win a war like they want to win unless you put boots on the ground. And everyone in the United States will oppose that.
Correct. 100%. And you know what else victory needs? Support of their own people. This regime in Iran has 10%, maybe 10% fucking support, maybe 10%, because you have people freaking to a point like lived a very good life. They can't fucking buy food. They buy food today. The people from the grocery store, they go buy their product. Tomorrow, that product is like they can't afford to buy it again. Like they have to raise the price again, and they're losing money. Like nothing makes sense anymore. So many leaders died. I just don't know how many more leaders could die. Who's going to come in place? to run this regime.
That's how I know.
So
you're not
either what's
listening
going to happen is.
But that's how I know you're not listening to me.
Why not?
Thank you, Nayland.
But brother, it's not about listening to you. I was born there.
Hold on, Nayland.
I was born there.
This has nothing to do with their restructured military strategy. Nayland, thank you for the 1999. Nayland, did you hear what you just said though? You just said if they kill more leaders, who's going to step in? That's not how the IRGC. That's not how the IRGC works. They're fragmented in underground networks. So I just explained to you, right? The mosaic defense is a result of studying U.S. and Israel military strategy for the last 20 years, these forever wars, right? And so what they do is they exhaust you politically and economically. The mosaic defense specifically is constructed to allow for the IRGC to continue fighting even if Tehran falls. If they cut off communication, all communication, they'll still be fighting. So it doesn't matter if you decapitate the leadership. That's the point of the mosaic doctrine, is even if you kill their leaders and strikes hit some targets, you still lose because they're still fighting. This is the point.
But what are they going to be fighting with?
You're fighting.
What are they going to be fighting with?
Fighting with?
Who's going to be like the rest of the IRGC?
Yes.
So I have a question for you. Do you know why Do you know why you're not hearing about the Iranian army? All you're hearing about is IRGC. Do you know what the reason for that is?
What do you mean you're not hearing about it?
Do you know why you're not hearing about the Iranian army and all you're hearing about is IRGC? Do you know why that is?
No, I don't know what you're insinuating.
Okay, so what I'm saying is this. The IRGC is not the Iranian army, right? It's a complete different branch that they put in place after the revolution to protect the government and spread their ideology, okay? So IRGC, the reason you're not hearing about the Iranian army and all you hear about the IRGC, because the government spread everyone that they could in the Iranian army as well from the IRGC. So at the same time,
and they have regime protection. What's your point?
All the army guys are. My point is this: all the army guys are at home. All they need is a freaking gun. They're all being let go. Iran brought Iraqis and Lebanese to slaughter.
I'm still not understanding what your point is.
What I'm saying is there's not much left, man.
That's not true.
You think there is?
It's not true.
Unlimited web.
It
is
true.
true.
Hey, guy.
Dude, we're hearing from people.
Let me explain something to you, and I'll prove to you you're wrong.
I need to hear from someone that's born in the United States about
I'm
Iran.
going to prove to you you're wrong right now. The Taliban put belt to ass for 20 years in sandals with AK-47s left behind by the Soviet. Who gives a shit? It's still guerrilla warfare. The United States doesn't have much success against guerrilla warfare. This is a more organized military. This is a much more. What I'm saying to you, listen to me. What I'm saying to you is this is a more organized military doctrine. This is a more they actually have a strategy. The Taliban just fought. They fought. Right? They did whatever they could to fight back. This is a more organized version of that. And even in the more disorganized version, we lost. We lost in even the more disorganized version. So why would you think the United States is going to have great success? Listen, here's the thing. My country, right? My government says this will be over in 4 to 5 weeks. Now it's what? We got 4.
It's not going to be. No.
Oh, well, then guess what? When is it going to be? Can you give me an end date? No, you can't. That's the point I'm making.
I will give it 3-4 months max. Okay, dude, there is nothing left.
You just proved my point.
What are they going to fucking bomb? What are they going to bomb? What are they going to bomb?
You just proved my point. Wait, you can only accomplish so much with military strikes. As if it was as easy to bomb a country into submission, then we would have won the war in Afghanistan and Iraq. You understand?
But Afghanistan is different. Taliban, again, you're comparing different countries.
No.
Taliban had support.
No, I'm not.
Iraqi,
Saddam had support for support. You won't shut up long enough to listen. I'm not comparing different countries.
Yeah, you're just agitated because you have no point.
You don't even know what their military strategy is. You didn't know what the mosaic defense was.
Oh, I don't.
This is the most
my brother went to the training in Iran's army.
And you don't know what the mosaic doctrine is.
But I know. I studied this shit. I
IRGC's
studied
dispersed resilient
Hezbollah.
networks.
Yeah,
Guy,
the
listen,
reason Israel lost was because of guerrilla army. But you don't. Okay.
Right. Thank you
Are
for
you one of
proving
those?
my
Hold
point
on.
again.
Can I ask you something?
Thank you for proving my
Yeah,
point
but
again.
But again, though, Iran has, this regime has no support. Who the fuck? What are they gonna do? How are they gonna be able to fucking stay in power? You tell me how.
Hey, let me
They
say
have,
one more
like,
thing to you.
90% of.
So I talked to someone.
Okay,
I
go
talked
ahead.
to someone who's very familiar and goes back and forth to Iran and lived in Iran most recently, and told me
Okay.
that one of the things that the United States government is underestimating is that the Iranian people like the United States government. In any way,
They do.
No,
They do. They do.
No, they don't.
Dude, let me tell you something.
No, I'm gonna
Let me
hang
tell
up
you
on
something.
now you're saying shit that's not
you don't
true.
know. You don't know
Now you're
anything.
saying
Last
shit
week I
that's
flew.
not true.
Last week I flew to get. Okay, listen. Last month, no, on the 4th of February, I flew to Qatar to get my dad out of Iran. Okay. Hello.
Yeah, I'm listening to you. Go.
Okay, so I went to Qatar to get my dad out of Iran because all the flights were getting canceled. All the flights were getting canceled. Now, if you're going to ask me, do majority of people in Tehran like Americans? They love Americans. Are you going to ask me
I didn't
in
say Americans, you
Balochistan by
disingenuous
Pakistan?
little. I didn't say Americans. I said the U.S. government. How is the U.S. government viewed by the people of Iran?
They don't even have. Dude, people in Iran were shouting for U.S. to bomb them. Are you freaking kidding me?
They don't want
people
them
in
to
Iran were
install a puppet
shouting.
government. Hey, guy, let me explain it to you. You clearly just don't understand.
There's not going to be a puppet government.
Again.
They're shouting for one person.
I'm gonna try and explain
I understand.
This again. No, because you don't understand my point. Let me reiterate my point because I truly don't think you fully understand what I'm trying to say. Donald Trump said yesterday, or I think it was actually this morning, he said, whoever Iran picks as the next leader, I need to be involved in that decision. I'm going to make that decision.
Yeah, he said it's probably going to come from Iran. I don't think he said that. He said whoever's going to be.
It doesn't matter. Do you think
they're beyond you could shout as much as you want. Doesn't make you right. Anyways, thank you for having me on, brother.
You're not right.
I appreciate you having me on your show. Okay.
Fight your own war. Don't fucking try and send my fellow Americans to go die.
You're probably one of those guys that thinks illegal immigrants should be protected. You're probably one of those guys that thinks. You're probably one of those guys that thinks.
If that guy wasn't a Zionist, I don't know what was. We're not dying for Israel. My fellow Americans are not dying for Israel. Do you fucking understand me? I don't give a shit what you Muppets say. We're not dying for Israel. My sons, my brothers, my sisters are not dying for fucking Israel. Do you understand me? I don't care what shit you try and sell me. There is nothing that justifies this war. Nothing. Abso-fucking-lutely nothing. And by the way, we're going to be... Most young people in politics are done with fucking Israel. Which means when that relationship is severed, we'll be pulling out of the Middle East. And you guys can do whatever the fuck you want. But you're going to leave my fellow Americans alone. I'm done. I'm tired of watching coffins come off fucking aircrafts so we can go save the day. Fuck that. If Israel has an issue with you, with the Iranian government, then they can go fight it. I love the Iranian people. I always will take up for the oppressed. And they are oppressed. But this is up to the Iranian people. It is not up to the U.S. government. The U.S. government is doing this because of Israel. And if you think, and they're not there to liberate the Iranian people. They've said multiple times, which this guy wouldn't shut up long enough to listen. Our own government says we're there to advance American interests, which means we're in no way interested in helping the Iranian people. You understand that's what that means, right? It's so funny how these non-Americans want us to go die. Guys, the reason non-Americans want us to go die is because it doesn't affect them. They're not at risk of being sent over there. People from other countries are advocating your children your brothers, your sisters go die for Israel. That should make you irate. You know what a guy said to me on here yesterday? I'm a traitor because I don't support Israel. These people have put their fucking web throughout our country and have essentially taken over. If we don't put our foot down, we'll never get it back. They want us to go kill ourselves for them now. What I was trying to explain to this guy, which he wouldn't give me long enough to explain, right, is that they have a restructured doctrine. They have a doctrine that essentially is a result of studying the U.S. failures in Iraq and Afghanistan. And you keep saying, well, they're different countries. You're right. They're smaller, significantly smaller. We're talking about a country made up of 90 million people. And you're under the impression, right? You're under the impression that people love the United States government over there, which is fucking insane because that's not true. And if the U.S. government installs a puppet government in Iran, it's going to create a power vacuum like it does and like it has every single time historically. As an Iranian refugee, he was commenting negatively about immigrants. Well, he was a Trump supporter, he said. But I'm going to be completely honest. I honestly think he was lying about that. But being an Iranian... But, you know, who knows? Who fucking knows? You know what I mean? It doesn't fucking matter either way. Why do you love the Iranian people? Someone said. Because they're people? Of course I love them. Why wouldn't I? They're human beings who are victims of human rights violators. Why wouldn't I love them? But as much as I do, and as harsh as it sounds, it's not our fucking problem. I am not opposed to humanitarian effort. Food, water, shelter, things like that. Providing support for the people if they uprise. Right? If they decide they're going to uprise, providing them, you know, some food, shelter, water. Even could be a conversation about providing them weapons, I think. But at the end of the day, I don't want American citizens to die for Israel. That's number one. And number two, it's our money. We're paying for this. It has zero benefit for the American taxpayer. And I don't want my fellow Americans dying for it. Sorry to tell you. You'll have to deal with it. See, that guy was conflating. He was basically proving my point, and he didn't even realize it. He was essentially saying that if you decapitate the leadership, there's nothing left. And that's where he's wrong. Like, that's exactly where he's wrong. They break into 31 different units across Iran's provinces with their own weapons, with their own logistics, with their own strike authority, meaning no central command is needed. It doesn't matter if you decapitate the leadership. This kind of strategy has the potential to exhaust our resources, causing an endless, scattered, nonsensical conflict. So every province, Tehran to border outposts, operates independently. So if you hit one spot, right, with a missile, then another spot launches drones anyway. So no decapitation works. And the United States and Israel then must hunt 31 separate targets nonstop. What does that do? It bleeds your resources. You burn through your stockpiles. Right? You're chasing these mobile launchers and these hidden bunkers. The last thing this administration needs is a war that stretches months. Trump said 4 weeks. Now we're going to have a multi-front retaliation that he can't control. Houthis from Yemen, proxies, Hezbollah cells, these speedboats in the Gulf, cyber hits. And then the U.S. just gets so exhausted economically. The political toll, forget about it. You start to have a manpower strain, ammo, fuel. We don't even have the military capabilities to conduct another 10, 15-year-long war. We just don't. So I'm simply telling you, if you're arguing that the United States is decapitating their leadership and there's going to be nothing left, that's because you do not understand Iran's military strategy. Their strategy is designed for decapitation. Their military strategy is designed to be cut off from communication. You only argue that because you don't know it. I think almost every American that I've talked to, and I've seen plenty of people on the right too, they don't want this war. Now, you get the MAGA chuds who are like, yeah, war good, Trump, anything Trump do good. Outside of those fucking cave brain troglodytes, most Americans don't support this. Critical thinkers, those Americans, they're opposed to this.
Call from
Trump.
Why are you calling yourself Trump?
Hello, how you doing?
I'm good. Why are you calling yourself Trump?
Oh, because I'm not going to put my actual name on there.
Okay, how old are you?
I wouldn't do that.
Your first
26.
name? You wouldn't put your first name?
Just call me Ed.
Okay, Ed. I don't know. It's not that serious, Ed, but what's going on? What's your take on the war in Iran? And how old are you?
Like I said, I'm 26. So, look, man, why do you think we cannot, free, Iran, from the dictatorship and all that,
Yeah, and all that,
Personally, I'm Cuban.
You're Cuban?
Personally, I'm Cuban, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I'm highly against, anything that's not other than what the United States is, right?
No, I have no idea what you mean.
Speech. So I'm saying, if you understand me. So here's the thing. Do you want to have a conversation?
Yeah, I don't understand what you're saying. Can you form a coherent sentence?
Okay. Put your emotions aside, all right?
Form a coherent sentence. Get on with it.
Talk to me.
Do you know what's happening in Cuba right now?
So, there's no gas right now.
Right. Why?
No light. Because of what's going on in Venezuela.
Yeah. So the United States has an oil blockade on the country you're from, and they're starving their population. You're a Trump supporter? That's fucking despicable. So can you tell me why you support the war in Iran?
So here's the thing. Here's the thing. Cubans have been trying to be freed from Castro's regime, right? For countless years. Okay. So when we were in Cuba, we were already starved. We were already starved. We didn't eat much. So we Cubans have hope. You understand me? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, so why do you support the war in Iran, please?
It's not that I really support it, or it's not that I'm against it or for it. I think Israel's doing that because they want to build their third pyramid.
You know,
stuff like
you're
that.
thinking critically, so you don't support it.
I don't really have a view on it, man.
No, you're right. Don't say you don't
just
have a
want
view.
Trump
No, stop it. Don't say you don't have a view. Your view is correct. Shocker. Let your gut is telling you that because it's true. This is all about Israel.
Look,
Stop trying to just support everything Trump does because you like Trump. You know damn well it's wrong. That's why you just said what you said. You asked me a question. Why do I think it's impossible to free the Iranian people? Let me explain. Don't talk, okay? So that's a good question because I never said that. I didn't say it's impossible to free the Iranian people, right? But I think it would take years to successfully do it. I don't think it's possible to do it without a sustained campaign that involves boots on the ground. And look, I can prove my point simply by, asking you historically, when have we ever done such a thing without boots on the ground? There isn't a historic example. So the reason there isn't, because you can't. You quite literally can't. So it's impossible. So I think that it probably is possible if you wanted to spend several years there, potentially as long as we did in Afghanistan. We spent 20 years in Afghanistan. 20. The Taliban took over the day after we left. They're a far less capable army, and I use that in air quotes, than the IRGC. The IRGC has a restructured military doctrine designed to survive decapitation, right? So if they're cut off with communication, they're going to fight until their very last breath. That last guest didn't know what he's talking about. They're going to fight. It's going to be sustained war for an extended period of time, which means American taxpayer dollars circling the drain. Guy, do you know how much the first 100 hours in Iran cost us?
Oh, here's my thing, right?
No, I want you to take a guess. How much do
obviously
you think, Guy, how much do you think the first 100 hours in Iran cost the United States government?
Possibly a billion, somewhere around. How much?
Keep going. Not 1 billion. Keep going.
2 billion?
Keep going.
3, 4?
4. Almost $4 billion per the most detailed analysis that I've seen from the CSIS. That's about 891. Hold on. That's about $891 million per day. That's mostly just munitions fire that costs that money. Munitions is probably 3.1 billion of that money, right? Because you have like Tomahawks alone are like 3-point-something million dollars, right? So anyways, the point is it's incredibly expensive. Imagine if we spend 5 years there. So American lives, American taxpayer dollars, and to add, and do you live in the United States?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then you know
Texas.
what's going on in the United States. Well, you live in Texas, so maybe you don't, but you see what's happening in like Minnesota and around the country right now. Our country's on fire. Our country's not in a good place right now. We don't need to be fighting Israel's war. That's what this is. This is Israel's war, and I don't want my fellow Americans dying for Israel anymore. I don't give a shit about politics or anything else. I'm done with Israel. I'm done with them causing the death of my fellow Americans. Benjamin Netanyahu has been saying that Iran was days away from weapons-grade enriched uranium for the last 30 years. He's been saying it for the last 30 years. And guess what? It wasn't true then, and it's not true now. This is the same guy who testified that if we topple the Hussein regime, right? If we topple the Saddam Hussein regime, that it will have numerous positive benefits in the region. It's one of the reasons we invaded Iraq was because of his testimony. It'll end terrorism in the Middle East. It ended up destabilizing the entire Middle East. He said it would have numerous positive benefits. Benjamin Netanyahu's been perpetuating these narratives and getting the U.S. into war for years. This is nothing new. This is nothing new. So we're a puppet on a string at this point.
check this out. Can I speak for a minute?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, and just okay. So let me just tell you, man. To be honest, I'm in 100 support of what you're saying. Right? I don't feel like our soldiers should be risking their lives to free that, right? Because we're still losing people. There's just no way to do it without losing people, and civilians are also dying. That's the awful part about war, right? But my question is, you're possibly not religious, right?
Are you asking if I'm religious?
What do you?
No,
Are you religious?
no, I'm agnostic. Well, what is the question though? What does religion have to do with it?
Oh, okay. Because I'm getting to the point, right?
I don't know where. I don't
So,
like where this is
so
going.
you're not. No, look, man, I'm not here to offend you at all. You have freedom of religion. It's just a simple question. Like, I promise you, I'm not gonna come on here to disrespect you at all. Nor am I gonna get offended by anything you say. You understand me completely?
Can you just make your point?
Do you understand that?
Yeah, just make your point, bro. I'm not your child. I don't know why
Okay.
you're talking to me that way. Just make your point.
Okay. Let me get to the point. Look. So I'm in support with what you're saying also, right? That our troops should not die for that, right? So obviously Christians want to make the third temple, right? For something of the antichrist, right? Okay, now I'm not super informed on that, right? But I come from a religious background. So they want to get their third temple, right? But there's something going on with Iran where they have a temple where Israel wants to put it, right? So essentially, I think that's the reason Trump's helping them out. You understand me?
It's not.
And,
Yeah, it has nothing to do with that. Trump's not even religious, so this is just a waste of time. He's not even religious, dude. He's not Christian, okay? He's literally a horrible person. He himself said he's not going to heaven. Stop it. Trump is doing this because he's a puppet for Israel, and the Epstein files are starting to control headlines every day. Every narrative is about the Epstein files, even when it's not, and includes a conversation about the Epstein files. So Benjamin Netanyahu's side of this was, we need to get this done now. And honestly, Netanyahu is a predator. He understands Trump is in a vulnerable spot. Trump is in a place where his country is starting to talk about, dig up his past effectively this time, and talk about, potential criminal behavior in classified documents that were forced to be released by the Epstein Transparency Act. And so Netanyahu said, look, after the midterms, I don't know if we'd be able to do this, right? They could stall Trump out. Who knows what happens there? So now it's now or never for Netanyahu if he wants the U.S.'s support. I don't think any other president would do this. I think Trump is probably potentially his last chance to do this. So he's getting it done before the midterms. I think Trump said yes because of the Epstein stuff. I think more than anything. It's not legacy defining. There's no positive benefits, really. I mean, like, it doesn't, unless there was complete and total domination, which I don't think is a realistic expectation. So this idea that Trump did it for any religious purpose, no. Trump is a much more simple figure. He's not religious. Trump doesn't even read the Bible, has never read the Bible. Trump doesn't know anything about Christianity. Trump's doing this because he wants people to stop talking about the fact that he's a pedophile. And that is the number one reason he was okay with doing it now. Israel has wanted to do this for decades, okay? So that's nothing new there. They know they don't have weapons-grade enriched uranium. They just want to topple Iran. In fact, I think Netanyahu wants Iran to look like Rafah. So don't be surprised if there's some kind of attack, and I use air quotes, that they use as justification to just flatten the entire country, because that's not out of the realm of possibility either. But that's the reason we're there.
Check this out. So you're speaking very political, right? Okay. Now, you do understand why Iran and Israel have been at a war for a long time, right?
Iran and Israel have an issue right now over the development of weapons-grade enriched uranium. Do you know what weapons-grade enriched uranium is?
nuclear weapons?
Nuclear is not a word. Nuclear. But yes. But
Okay.
so
Let me get to the point, man.
Okay, well then stop asking me questions. Just make your statement. You keep asking me questions like you don't know the answer, so I'm trying to explain it to you. Just make your statement.
Yeah, Israel really wants. They want to build a third temple. Okay. So, like I said, you study the political side. You also need to study the religious side.
Guy, I don't need to study anything. This guy's telling me to study. You're struggling to form a coherent sentence, and you're telling me to study? Fuck out of here. I knew that call was going nowhere. I should have hung up in the beginning. I got to go with my gut. You know what I mean? Like, I know in the beginning when a call's going nowhere. When a guy can't form, just hang up the phone. I don't have the fucking energy to be having these fucking troglodyte conversations. I really don't. I mean, this guy is just, I really don't. Guy, there's people that should talk and there's people that should listen. You should listen. Okay? The justification Israel is using, Israel wants complete dominance over the Middle East. They don't want Iran to have any kind of authority or any kind of power or any kind of ability to negotiate or any kind of defense, really. And so he makes up lies about Iran being in possession of what. And listen, I'll be honest with you guys, right? Like, I'll say this too. This guy keeps talking in the chat, this Ben Lulu guy. Will you also shut up, you chud? No one's listening to you. I saw my chat roasting you before. You're a caveman. Laura, thank you so much. Appreciate you. I don't know where you get the patience for these ignorant people. I'm okay with talking to ignorant people. It's dumb people that really annoy me. Know what I mean? But I guess it goes hand in hand. But anyway, a lot of people don't even realize that, like especially people on the right, that when we talk about Iraq, right, specifically, Netanyahu, in fact, let me play it. You know what? I'm going to play it. And by the way, let's just take a little poll here. If you're in the chat and you agree with me and you want to cut ties with Israel, tell me in the chat. Tell me in the chat. If you agree with what I'm saying, tell me in the chat. Take a listen, folks. This is right after our country just suffered the terrorist attacks of 9/11, right? And he preyed on that situation like he's preying on Trump with the Epstein files right now, by the way. It's the same thing. He looks for situations to prey on U.S. leaders, right? So he sees Trump is in hot water over this Epstein stuff. So he's preying on him. I mean, I wouldn't even be shocked if he had something on him and hung it over his head. I just think Trump, it's probably not. I mean, I think it could be either way. But this is right after the 9/11 attacks. Netanyahu went to go testify. Okay? And here's what he said. Right after 9/11.
We'll have out Saddam. If you take out Saddam's regime, I guarantee you that it will have enormous positive reverberations on the region. And I think that people sitting right next door in Iran, young people, and many others will say, the time of such regimes, of such despots, is gone. There is a new age. Something new is happening.
And that is speculation on your part, or you have some evidence to that effect?
I was asked the same question in 1986. I had written a book in which I had said that the way to deal with terrorist regimes, well, with terror, was to deal with the terrorist regimes. And the way to deal with the terrorist regimes, among other things, was to apply military force against them.
The way we did in Afghanistan.
The way, for example, I want to answer your question.
Well, I guess I'm running out of time, so I quickly was trying to get there. We've done, I think, what you proposed in Afghanistan, yet I haven't seen that sort of neighborhood effect.
Well, I think there's been an enormous effect. The effect was we were told that there would be a contrary effect. First of all, people said that there would be tens of thousands of people streaming into Afghanistan, zealots who would be outraged by America's action, and this would produce a counter-reaction in the Arab world.
But I think you're now saying that when you take an action like we did in Afghanistan, we're going to see all the other countries just fold.
No, what we saw is something else. First of all, we saw every...
Hey, by the way, Miss Pee-Pee Doodle-Doo, you look like a pedophile. I'm just going to tell you that right now. All right, so I'm muting you. Have a good day.
Streaming.
Guys, you better just watch out, guys. A lot of Zionists like to come in my chat and try and discredit me while I'm talking because they don't like that I'm speaking out against Israel. I'm getting some shit from people calling me a traitor, threatening me. Same thing they do all the time when I say something they don't like. So I'm just telling you, Zionists, right now, I don't give a shit what you say. You understand me? I don't care, Zionists. I can't stand you. Get your fucking hands off my country and away from my fucking people, you creeps.
Out of Afghanistan. The second thing we saw is all the Arab countries and many Muslim countries trying to side with America, trying to be okay with America. The application of power is the most important thing in winning the war on terrorism. If I had to say, what are the three principles of winning the war on terror? It's like, what are the three principles of real estate, the three L's, location, location, location? The three principles of winning the war on terror are the three W's, winning, winning, and winning. The more victories you amass, the easier the next victory becomes. The first victory in Afghanistan makes the second victory in Iraq that much easier. The second victory in Iraq will make the third victory that much easier too.
You guys hear that? That's his own words. That's not me. So to that guy who said, oh, man, don't listen to fucking Adam, man. Do your own research. They want you to keep falling for the propaganda of this Zionist government and these Israeli human rights violators. Razor wire piercing, thank you for becoming a Muppet Masher, bro. Appreciate you. Heidi Girl, thank you for becoming a Muppet Masher. Heidi Girl, appreciate you. Thank you so much. Invisible K852 says, hey, I had briefly met you at Whipple in January. I've been watching your streams the last few nights. Love what you do, man. Hey, appreciate you, buddy. Glad to meet you, bro. I don't remember specifically what you enjoyed meeting you. Thanks for coming, man. Appreciate you. Or woman, I'm not really sure which one. But you could say your pronouns in the chat. But I don't know where I met you, but I'm sure it was good to meet you. Yeah, they're perfectly fine with it. So, and again, like you talk to Iraq and Afghanistan vets too, and you know what they all say? They say they're furious that we're doing this. They're furious that we're doing this. Let's hear Netanyahu really quick talk about Iran having a nuclear weapon for the last, 3-4 decades? Let's take a listen. And let's see if I'm lying to the Zionist chud that said that I'm lying in the chat. Let's take a listen, everybody. Let's see if I'm lying.
Taxi.
Honestly, he wants you to do your own research, right? So what better than to hear the word from the mouth of the human rights violator himself, the genocidal maniac himself. What better way? And by the way, I saw another person in here say something about, do you hold your government accountable? Yes, man. I'm critical of the U.S. government. I do not like war at all, period. I understand there are circumstances that are necessary and things like that, but I am very critical of U.S. foreign policy on both sides of the aisle. Both sides of the aisle. I am super against U.S. foreign policy. I am ashamed of U.S. foreign policy. Let's take a listen to Netanyahu here, claiming for the last 30-something years that Iran has a nuclear weapon.
You've probably heard this line before.
Iran has never given up its quest for nuclear weapons and the missiles to deliver them.
That's because Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has been saying this for more than 30 years, claiming Iran is close to having
nuclear weapons. Nuclear weapons. Nuclear weapons. Atomic bombs.
In 1992, as a member of parliament, Netanyahu addresses the Knesset. He says, within 3 to 5 years, we can assume that Iran will become autonomous in its ability to develop and produce a nuclear bomb. 3 years later, in his book Fighting Terrorism, he repeats the same time frame, 3 to 5 years.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Fast forward to 2002. Netanyahu testifies before a U.S. congressional committee actively calling for the invasion of Iraq.
Are there any other nations that you would recommend that the United States launch preemptive attacks upon at this point?
The two nations that are vying, competing with each other, who will be the first to achieve nuclear weapons, is Iraq and Iran.
The invasion happens
At the MAGA chud the other day that was literally trying to convince me there were weapons of mass destruction. I'm like, holy shit. I can't believe in 2026 I'm still arguing this point. Huey, thank you for being a member for 2 months. Please change low tier name from Tadpoles. No, I don't know why you're asking me that, but no. Mary, thank you so much for becoming a Tadpole. Mary, appreciate you. I think Razorwire, I think I thanked you already. I love this comment here from Kathy. She says, I've done my research. That's why I'm here. Based. I love that comment, Kathy.
Found in Iraq. Congress that Iran is 1 or 2 years away from being capable of developing nuclear weapons.
They're online.
It's 2012, and Netanyahu is holding up his infamous cartoon bomb at the UN General Assembly.
By next spring, at most by next summer, at current enrichment rates, they will have finished the medium enrichment and move on to the final stage. From there, it's only a few months, possibly a few weeks, before they get enough enriched uranium for the first bomb.
And now, 33 years after Netanyahu's first so-called imminent warning, Israel attacks Iran.
If not stopped, Iran could produce a nuclear weapon in a very short time. It could be a year, it could be within a few months, less than a year.
That's despite the U.S. Director of National Intelligence saying Iran isn't building a nuclear weapon months earlier.
Iran lied.
But for Netanyahu,
Big time.
the slogan has been the same for decades. Dmitry Medvedenko, Al Jazeera.
Adam, where did the video? This is Al Jazeera. Al Jazeera. You can get this video. They have good stuff on Netanyahu saying the same thing for 30 fucking years and compiling it together. But listen, people, this is what he does. This is what he does. Let's take a listen to this. I'll literally play it for you. From 1996, 2002, 2012, 2014, really conducted. I don't even know why this is not being discussed a lot. Don't you guys think it's weird? They're not even discussing the military operation they just did a few months ago. Take a listen.
They're very close. They're 6 months away from being about 90% of having the enriched uranium for an atom bomb.
That was 2012.
Being pushed into.
That was 2012, folks, that he said that.
States can lead this vital international effort to stop the nuclearization of terrorist states. Extremely close, indeed.
That was 1996.
Iran, by the way, is also outpacing Iraq in the development of ballistic missile systems. Very close.
That was 2002.
They're 6 months away from being about 90% of having the enriched uranium for an atom bomb. From there,
that was 2012.
It's only a few months, possibly a few weeks. Enriched uranium.
That was 2013. Few weeks.
Uranium for a nuclear bomb in short order, in a few weeks or a few months. They could do that unless that's changed. With this,
that's 2014.
Massive capacity, Iran could make the fuel for an entire nuclear arsenal, and this in a matter of weeks.
That's 2015. Shall I go on? Shall I go on? I don't understand why this isn't landing for people, but then I recognize, they're just Zionists, right? They're just going to support Israel, whatever they want to do. And if Israel says they want to invade Iran, they're going to support it. This person said wrong, yes, necessary, yes, sad years. No, it's not necessary. And can you please can you change your name if you think this war is necessary? In fact, oh, wait, never mind. Your name is actually, I thought it said American Idiot. I was going to say that name's fitting. Lee's, thank you for the 5 gifted membership, Lee's. I really appreciate it. Guys, I would really appreciate supporting the live, contributing to the gifting goal, tapping the screen, hitting the thumbs up button, all those things. But contributing to the gifting goal really helps push the live. It helps push the live. Lee's, thank you so much. A bunch of people just got free memberships, so thank Lee's. 7680, Beer God, 40 ounces. Let's go. You just got gifted a membership. Euphoria, you just got gifted a membership. Catsodge Padre, you just got gifted a membership. Louie, you got gifted a membership. Chris Mountain Gardener, you got gifted a membership. Mary 111, you got gifted. Oh no, I'm sorry, Mary, you didn't. You're already a member. Sorry. So yeah, that's where we are, folks. That's where we are, and it's time to stand up and say enough is enough. Enough is enough. And there will be I will tell you, there will be no apologies. No apologies when this war is, 20 years, 10 years, 5 years. I don't care if it's a year. A year is too long. I don't care if it's 6 months. 6 months is too long. I can't give you the exact amount of time, but I can tell you it's not going to be 4 weeks. Now listen to this. This will be the last one. Listen to Netanyahu's 30-year lie.
If not stopped, Iran could produce a nuclear weapon in a very short time. It could be a year. It could be...
Let me see if I can pull this up here for you guys. That would be better. I'm just generally opposed to war.
If not stopped, Iran could produce a nuclear weapon in a very short time. It could be a year. It could be within a few months.
They have the wherewithal, the stored up, preserved knowledge to make a bomb very quickly if they wanted to do it.
Iran is so dangerous. Weeks away from having the fissile material for an entire arsenal of nuclear bombs.
They're very close. They're 6 months away from being about 90% of having the enriched uranium for an atom bomb. Iran is gearing up to produce 25 bombs, atomic bombs a year, 250 bombs in a decade. Ladies and gentlemen, time is running out.
Iran will be capable of producing alone, without importing anything, nuclear bombs within 3 to 5 years.
Thoughts? I mean, I can't even believe that they're trying to sell us this. Now, I go back now. It was 5 days, right? Let's take a listen to what he had to say. Just want you to listen. This is very important.
I would like to thank the President Trump for his historical leadership. I spoke with him again this morning, and I would like to thank him and bless him for this close collaboration. It has truly reached the record of all time, and this war will bring about true peace. We targeted those at the head of the leadership of the Brotherhood of the Revolutionary Guard and all of General Staff and others. We would like to thank the brave Iranian people that they are being freed of those horrific ties with that regime. This is an opportunity. Do something. Do not sit with your arms crossed, because this moment will come and you will be demanded to go out to the streets in the masses, because you have to complete this work and you have to bring down and eradicate this regime. Your suffering and your sacrifice will not be in vain. We promised you the help, and the help has arrived.
The Prime Minister of Israel speaking directly to the Iranian people, calling them the lion, the Iranian people, telling them that their future is now theirs to take.
This message that we just heard, I was listening to his
Unbelievable, people. Now, I think he was actually interviewed here, which is crazy.
In the first 30 seconds, I've never seen anything like this in my...
So, of course, Sean Hannity, who's a complete fucking Zionist and supports everything Israel did or does, interviewed him. Marianne, thank you so much for the $1.99 super chat. Appreciate you. Barbara, enough is enough. You're damn right, Barbara. Thank you so much, Barbara. You're damn right. All right, here we go. We're not freeing the Iranian citizens, American and Eric, or whatever the fuck your name is. Okay? Trump, Hegseth, Vance, and Rubio have all said this is about advancing American interests. Okay? Now you think we're free? You really think we care about the Iranian people? Tell me you're not that fucking naive.
And the president, as he said, he wanted a peace deal, gave them every opportunity for peace, like they did before Operation Midnight Hammer. And they steadfastly refused. In the first 30 seconds, I've never seen anything like...
So I got it, guys. I got to say this really quick. TKUO9MH. Bro, I gotta point this guy's comment out. This guy in chat, TJ or TKUO908. Sorry, I forgot to put my damn links in here. I'm going to do that. You just said something that crossed my mind the other day. I was thinking about that Sopranos episode when he was like, when AJ was like, Bush, he's gonna bomb Iran. Dude, fucking spot on comment, bro. Spot on comment, TK. That's so fucking weird that you said that after I was thinking about that the other day. So there's an episode of Sopranos where AJ Soprano talks about how Bush was going to bomb Iran. Really, it's not that he predicted it. At that time, people thought Bush was going to bomb Iran. Anyway, listen to Netanyahu talking to Sean Hannity here, and just listen to what he says in the beginning here, please.
This in my life, the supreme leader, the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, and his top 40 leaders were wiped out, Ahmadinejad among them. That is incredible intelligence, and wow, I'm sure this will be studied for centuries to come, not decades.
Well, you know, when America, the indispensable ally for Israel and the greatest power in the world, and Israel, America's model ally, as the National Security Council just called it.
Eric, none of that's happening. Stop cucking for Israel.
Amazing things happen. Right? We work together.
I love this idea that people think the United States can just install a puppet government and not maintain a presence. Like they've not learned nothing from history where you cannot maintain power without presence. So as soon as you install a puppet government like we did in Afghanistan, you know how many years we spent training their army to fight back against the Taliban, to fight back against Al-Qaeda? He did the same thing in Iraq, became ISIS, became 40 times as powerful as they were because of the power vacuum that was created as a result of toppling the Hussein regime. The same thing happened in Afghanistan, slightly different, but pretty much the same thing. The Taliban took control about a day or two after we left. Because when you topple leadership, you create a power vacuum. You actually enable extremists. You give them an opportunity, and they take that opportunity. Puppet governments don't last without presence. American idiot, you're a moron. Shut up, you fucking shut up, Rambo. All right, no one cares that you fucking typed on a computer in the military. It has nothing to do with this conversation. Shut up.
Things happened, but I have to tell you that
stop cucking for Israel
without the leadership of President Trump, because he just, you know, I met him in Mar-a-Lago. You may remember this because I think you live close by, and I saw you at that time, right before his re-election. Okay. Or before he was inaugurated the second time. And we met in Mar-a-Lago. And the first thing that Donald Trump
I was a cook in the army, so therefore I'm justified in saying we should cuck for Israel. Shut up, bro. Shut the fuck up. All right? You Zionists come up with any fucking reason you can. I doubt you even served. This guy asks, is there anything that'll make you change your mind and views? Not in this case, no. unless you were able to provide me proof what I'm saying is incorrect. That's typically how that works, Brock. You would have to provide me evidence what I'm saying is wrong. Can you prove to me what I'm saying is wrong? Let's go over their restructured military strategy in the Mosaic Doctrine. Let's compare that to historic references, right? Let's look at historical precedents, right? Let's talk about Israel. Let's talk about how long Netanyahu has been claiming they're close to weapons-grade enriched uranium. Let's talk about Netanyahu's history. Let's talk about most recently what he did in Gaza. Have you seen Rafah lately? Like all these different things matter, and that's how I came to my decision. And all of these things are true. They can't be debunked because they're facts. When I look at something like this, right? I hate to say it, but the truth is, if you support this war, you're likely an idiot. Like, no offense. If you support this war, it's likely because you're not very smart. And you're not capable of critical analysis. I'm done with U.S. servicemen and women coming home in fucking body bags. And where was Donald Trump when they came home? Was he there to wait to salute them? Our brave servicemen and women, was he there to salute them? Nope. He wasn't even there. You know how much that fucking video literally made me fucking cry? Those fucking coffins coming off that aircraft, and Trump wasn't even there to salute them. Coming off the aircraft with American flags and Yahoo to salute my fellow Americans who are dying for Israel. Where the fuck is he? Is he going to do something for their families? Is he going to take care of their children? What about their moms and their dads and their sisters and their brothers? Their lives are fucking ruined. Because Israel said that Iran has weapons-grade enriched uranium. If you support that, fuck you. All right? I can't make it any more clear.
He said that because he saw that as a clear and present danger to the security and well-being of the United States. To have a regime like that, so fanatic, exporting terrorism, exporting the worst Islamist fanaticism that attacks
Trump
Arabs,
has a
attacks
history.
Israelis, attacks
Trump has
Americans.
a history of not supporting veterans and, all the shit. Calling John McCain a war hero, a sucker, and or saying he's a loser. A guy who was literally gave his life. Can you guys see me? Hopefully this isn't lagging. I might be lagging a little bit. Can you guys see me? Let me know if you can see me. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Sorry, I had a connection interruption there. But anyways, that's the point I wanted to get across. So but he can give the hockey team a medal. Yeah, he cares about giving them a medal. Give the hockey team a medal, but not our brave servicemen and women who literally go and die for this country. Like, honestly, what did they die for? Literally, all you patriots, you people who do not support war, all you patriots, you people who do not support war. I'm so tired of these chicken hawks. They get me fucking really angry, and it's when people advocate for war like this. People advocating for war is one of the things that disgusts me more than anything. You advocate for war? That is sickening. How dare you? How dare you? And if you're going to advocate for war, then go put a uniform on and go die for this country. You're not even dying for this country. You're dying for Israel. Go die for Israel and take the place of one of these other people that doesn't want to go. And take the place of one of these other people that doesn't want to go. It's like when I see people on TikTok, these chuds, they go on TikTok and they'll be like, yeah, I support the war. How dare you support this? How dare you? How dare you? Sick. So, I think it's disgusting. I really do. But I appreciate you guys that see the truth. I know most of my followers would never support some shit like this. And if you do, you're not a follower. You're not somebody who would support me, because you 100% would not support this if you watch me. You know what my take on this would be. So, this is wrong. And you know what was even more gross? When Netanyahu was on television trying to talk about the Iranian regime. The Iranian regime is horrible, horribly oppressive, bad people. But he actually had the audacity to get on television and say things that the regime has done to children. And if you have seen Gaza and if you have seen Rafah, they are literally parking lots of rubble. Jack Frost says Call of Duty videos created these weirdos. Facts, dude. It's honestly sick. It really is. Now all of them serve, too. A lot of these people in the chat, they're all suddenly war heroes. Listen, every person that I know that's a veteran that put time in the Middle East, and I have a lot of friends that served in GWAT, right? They all oppose this war. All of them. I have friends that have had PTSD just from what's happening right now because it reminds them so much of Iraq. Multiple friends. So, we're in it for the long haul, folks. Look, I can get up here and yell about it. I can try and educate people on it the best I can. I do the same thing on TikTok, but to be honest with you, like, we have so many clowns in this country. We really do. And we're in it for the long haul. It's on. There's no stopping it now. There's not a single thing in hope. Maybe if we have a chance to fix this, maybe in the future, we can separate from Israel and start worrying about American citizens. Because I'm more concerned that, my fellow Americans can't pay for health care. My fellow Americans don't have housing. My fellow Americans don't have clean water. There are places in the United States that don't have clean water. There are kids right now, children, who do not have access to clean water. People die because they don't have access to health care on a daily basis here. I know there's someone calling in right now, but I'm popping off. So you'll have to call in tomorrow. I'll debate tomorrow night too. But I appreciate you guys. I love you. And I will see you later. Thank you, everybody who contributed to the gifting goal. If you guys would like to support, you can in the link tree in my bio. I put my Venmo and Cash App up there if you want to support. We're going to be traveling again soon. I might be going back to Minnesota. There's a couple things happening there that are pretty serious, and the community's basically they brought in some vehicles today that's concerning some people, that they're potentially about to conduct another operation with the new head of the DHS here. And so I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be Minnesota, if it's going to be New Jersey. It's going to be somewhere. So if you guys support my mission and all that, you can support in the link tree in my bio. And I appreciate you guys. And I hope you have a wonderful night there. I love you guys. Have a wonderful night. Make sure you tune out of politics a little bit every night so you don't become overwhelmed, all right? Take care, everybody.